Hi, welcome to Grammar Video 2. I am Elizabeth. The notes that accompany this video that I'm using to show you the concepts are on our SIS page under the grammar, writing, and vocab topic. Welcome. Behind me, I'm not sure whether to the right or the left, you might be able to see two ceramic cats sitting on top of the mantle. If you can see that, you're very lucky. All right, simple sentences, phrase, and clause. Why do we care about simple sentences? What's awesome about them? Number one, in order to talk about things, we need names for them. So with sentences, it's the same. We name them. They're simple sentences. Number two, a simple sentence is, in some ways, the simplest of sentences, so a good place to start. Simple sentences are not always short and they're not always simple. Simple here is just a grammatical term, a grammatical distinction. Number four, they are lovable because they lead to clear writing. 5, they tend to be the most powerful type of sentence often. 6, many great writers love them. Ernest Hemingway is thought to have said, the first draft of anything is bleep. That's a simple sentence. Why do we care about phrases and clauses? Every group of words that participates in a sentence is either a phrase or a clause. The presence and number of phrases and clauses in a sentence determine what type of sentence it is, which we care to do. All right, phrase. A phrase is any group of words that lacks either a subject, a verb, or both. In other words, it's a part of a sentence. It could never be a correct, complete sentence on its own. Trying to pass it off as a complete sentence, starting with a capital letter and ending it with a period, would be insufficient. It wouldn't sound complete. 3, there are many types of phrases. We'll learn and review them one by one in the videos to come. 4, phrases make sentences diverse and beautiful. Let's venture that phrases are the jewels or the jewelry of the sentence, while clauses are the shirt or the pants. You need a clause to make a sentence work. You want a phrase because they are beautiful. This isn't always true, but it very often is. Daniel Running knows something about this. You can go and ask him as a bonus. Phrase examples. Under the spreading chestnut tree, a surprisingly eerie prepositional phrase from George Orwell's novel 1984, which is an eerie novel. Smelling of gasoline. My husband Ben wrote that participial phrase when I was telling him what a participle is. You'll get to hear the second part of it soon. It might make him sound a little creepy. Lord of the Myrmidons, and a positive phrase applicable to Prince Achilles of Greek mythology fame. A clause is a group of words that contains a subject and a verb. There are 2 broad types. Dependent, can't stand alone as a complete sentence, would be a fragment. Independent, can stand alone as a complete sentence. As you remember from Grammar Video 1, you need to have at least one independent clause to have a grammatically correct sentence. Clause examples. Under the spreading chestnut tree, I sold you and you sold me. The underlined part there is 2 independent clauses. So it would make it a compound sentence. And it's attached to that eerie introductory prepositional phrase from 1984. Smelling of gasoline, Ben rode Dexter to freedom. The end of what that sentence is about my husband and dog. He's never actually smelled of gasoline while riding Dexter to freedom. He couldn't ride on Dexter. Achilles, Lord of the Myrmidons, pursued the Trojan soldiers. It's an unexciting sentence I wrote myself. You can see that the independent clause here, the underlined part, is broken up by the intervening phrase. So you can have an independent clause start, be interrupted by a phrase, buttressed by 2 commas, and then continue afterwards. Practice. To check whether it's a clause or a phrase, consider whether it has a subject or a verb and whether it could stand alone as a full sentence in complete thought. I left the ending punctuation out on purpose to make it trickier. So these are all, except number 8, the opening sentences of novels, and the sentence credits, the authors that wrote them are right down here for your interesting perusal. So number 1, in the bosom of one of those spacious skies. Number 2, call me Ishmael. Number 3, but we were not in their ranks. Number 4, as he faced the firing squad. Number 5, my lousy childhood. Number 6, whether I shall turn out to be the hero of my own life. Number 7, once an angry man. Number 8, his pronouncement made. So pause it here if you want to figure out for yourself whether they're phrase and clause, and then restart when you've figured it out, and I'll tell you the answers. Pause. And hello again. Number 1 is a phrase. It's 3 of them, 3 prepositional phrases in a row. Number 2 is a clause. It's a command. So the implied subject would be you. It's not stated there, but it means it would be you call me Ishmael. So it has a subject, an implied subject and a verb. Number 3 is a clause. We have we as the subject and were as the verb. Number 4, clause, he, subject, faced, verb. Number 5, my lousy childhood, just a phrase. 6, whether I shall turn out to be the hero of my own life. Clause, I, subject, shall turn out to be, verb phrase. 7, only a phrase, no verb in it, so it's only a phrase. 8, his pronouncement made. This one's the trickiest. It's only a phrase. If we added the verb was, his pronouncement was made, it would be a clause, but without the was, it's only a phrase. It's an absolute phrase, and we'll get to those later. Okay, simple sentence definition one more time. A simple sentence contains only one independent clause and no dependent clauses. It could contain any number of phrases. Phrases don't have to do with the meaning of the sentence. They are useful though. This may be tricky, don't worry. So these are sentences from somewhat well-known authors, well, actually very well-known authors. The sentences are here. Once you have decided how many clauses are in each, go to the notes that are on SIS and the answers will be there. I could scroll down for them, but I want you to get the notes off of SIS. So do this, check the notes on SIS. Finally, your homework. Describe an object using only simple sentences, which are independent clauses. Write between 10 and 14 sentences to describe whatever object you pick. Underline the subject and verb in each sentence. Make sure you read these directions a few times and do all of these things. A note reminder, don't include any dependent clauses. You may include phrases if you'd like. Simple sentences contain as many phrases as you want them to. They only have one independent clause. One, not two, and no dependent clauses. So describe an object in between 10 and 14 sentences. Underline the subject and verb. Thank you. See you soon.